Saskatchewan's latest sweep of snow, why old man winter isn't done with us just yet. Fears of flooding, why what Mother Nature brings the next few days will be crucial. And pushback from the FSIN, why the First Nations group is again at odds with Ottawa over funding agreements.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with our latest spring storm. The system dumping snow on many areas of the province, with one community reporting nearly 50 centimeters. CTV's Stacey Hine has more on how people are handling what feels like a never-ending winter.
Another blast of winter across Saskatchewan, leaving many waking up to fresh snow and a long day of clearing ahead.
When you looked out the window this morning, were you surprised to see all the snow?
I was ready to cry.
Much like the pelicans, this snowbird may have came home too soon.
We just got home from Florida on Saturday and did not expect to be doing this on Thursday or Friday, I guess. So it's just crazy.
Others are taking it in stride, still out walking the dog.
It's Saskatchewan. If you're not prepared for it, you might as well move on.
Saskatoon city crews hit the streets Friday morning. City officials say they're working to clear and grade priority routes within 72 hours. Meteorologist Terry Lang says the system dropped about 15 centimeters in Saskatoon, with Regina and Moose Jaw seeing around 20. Environment Canada says people in Etonia, southwest of Kindersley, are reporting up to 48 centimeters. Lang says heavy spring snowfalls like this are not uncommon.
We have that cold air that's still lurking to the north, but that warm air is still trying to come up from the south, so you get the clash of those two, and it always leads to bigger snowfalls just because warm air can hold more moisture.
She says a brief warm-up is on its way, but it may not last long, as Environment Canada tracks another system expected to arrive mid-next week.
It looks like a precipitation maker, so I don't want to say rain or snow because it could be either or both, but it looks like a significant weather system.
With the potential for more winter weather on its way, Lang says keep the shovel handy and hold off on switching those winter tires. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
While many in Saskatchewan are tired of the snow, a quick melt may not be the best outcome for farmers. Jasmine Pelche reports on how spring conditions are impacting agriculture in the province.
Snow remains on the ground in much of Saskatchewan, but what impact could it have for producers with seeding season on the horizon?
For the most part, it is good news when we have, adequate moisture going into spring.
The challenge with snow is that its melting process will impact how much moisture is left behind.
The faster it melts, the less time it has to soak in and for the soil to absorb it. So that's when it becomes concerning for producers, when you get a real fast melt and the water doesn't have a chance to soak into the subsoil moisture.
A quick melt also has the potential to cause flooding, especially in areas with a big snowpack like central and northern Saskatchewan. However, snow remaining on the ground too long will impact spring seeding. Producers will maybe switch their seeding plans and go to, something like oats or crops that are or barley, something that's a little earlier maturing. For regions that haven't received much moisture this year, like the southwest of the province, any precipitation is a good thing.
They just haven't gotten a lot of the storms that have passed through. There's been a really persistent storm track through the winter, through central Alberta that came right through sort of along Highway 16, and anything north of Highway 16 has a huge snowpack. So again, I don't think they want to be accumulating it anymore, whereas the dry areas do want it.
If the melting process results in significant flooding, the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities is recommending producers look at provincial emergency relief programs. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Jeff, at least it was sunny today.
It was sunny, and that made a big difference. The radiant energy of the sun makes a big difference, especially when it hits those darker items, i.e. the asphalt. And so, yes, we had ourselves a pleasant day in some respects because the snow was done. And the good news is we make our way into tomorrow and the next day. Temperatures are on the rise. For how long? Well, we'll tell you about that later on.
The Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations is pushing back against federal oversight measures from Indigenous Services Canada. As Keenan Sorokon reports, changes to some financial practices are being met with swift criticism from some First Nations.
Saskatchewan chiefs gathered at the FSIN's annual Spring Assembly in North Battleford this week for the first time since a forensic audit called for nearly $29 million to be repaid. A resolution passed rejecting that audit and some new oversights, while also requiring some chiefs to sign non-disclosure agreements. The resolution says Indigenous services will change to set funding agreements moving forward, which could have a big impact on finances. These set agreements have more guardrails tied to specific activities and require any unused money to be returned at the end of the fiscal year, unlike the flexible agreements FSIN has worked with for multiple years. The FSIN says it earned the current status for flexible agreements through years of unqualified audits, sound financial management, transparency, and accountability, and this is unfairly punitive. CTV News reached out to the FSIN but did not get a response. However, Chief Bobby Cameron distanced himself from the audit findings at a separate event earlier this week.
I don't get into the details, right? I stick to the high-level politics. I got Marty Paul, my chief of staff, and them that do all that, yeah.
The resolution also amended financial policy, requiring any chief on the Treasury Board to sign an NDA. The zero-tolerance approach means disclosure to anyone not authorized will remove that person from the board and potential further action. Some chiefs took to social media, rejecting the idea of restricting the flow of information. The FSIN said NDAs will formalize confidentiality and clearly define the consequences of a breach. The resolution ultimately passed with 31 in favor, 12 against, and 2 abstaining. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The government of Saskatchewan is starting to roll out a plan to increase protection against drones used in organized crime to smuggle items into correctional facilities in the province. Damien Smith has the story.
Mostly positive, but of course with anything good comes bad things too.
In operation for 6 years, Queen City Drones has found beneficial uses for the devices.
Saving lives by carrying, inflating devices to somebody that was drowning in the water, and then also medical supplies to somebody that needed medical supplies in remote areas.
While FSIN uses drones for good, others are using them for more sinister reasons, some even smuggling items into penitentiaries and correctional centers.
I just got a notification they got $320,000 worth of shatter and meth.
According to Selsley, 80% of the drone drops into jails have been drugs, while the government of Saskatchewan says drone smuggling isn't a significant issue in the province. It has launched a pilot project to provide early warning detection of unauthorized activity, real-time monitoring, and actionable data to support timely intervention against unauthorized drone usage around facilities.
Our mobile patrols are one of the best ways for us to detect because they're operating 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. They're always our eye in the sky.
Selsley says drone smuggling has increased in Canada since the mid-2010s. The concern is not the drop-off of the items in the moment, but the aftermath.
The impact on correctional officers is the aftermath of having this contraband introduced. Our overdose rates go through the roof. Further entrenched the drug culture gets within the prison, the violence is a close second right behind that. Inmate on inmate, inmate on staff.
Meanwhile, FSIN is encouraging drone enthusiasts to use drones for good.
It's a shame when people can come and hurt privilege that the good people have running these things.
Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Prince Albert police have arrested a man who escaped from custody in Yorkton just over a month ago. 35-year-old Jefferson Job was serving a sentence at the White Spruce Provincial Training Center in Yorkton when he escaped March 10th. Shortly after that, Prince Albert police learned he was living at a home on 13th Street West in Prince Albert. Yesterday, a search warrant was issued for the home. Among a group of people inside was Job. He was arrested and charged with a string of offenses. Police also seized a semi-automatic sawed-off shotgun, 30 grams of cocaine, and 2 air-powered handguns. A 39-year-old man was also charged in connection with the seizure. The family of a missing Calgary senior seen earlier this month in Saskatchewan is desperate to find her. And as the search continues, her granddaughter is thankful for the tips coming in and is asking people to continue to look for her.
That's my greatest, theory, I guess, is just that she got really confused when she was driving, and the dementia gets worse the more tired she gets. So I'm thinking that, she just hasn't slept well, so she hasn't found her way home. There's been lots of great tips on Facebook, both from Alberta and Saskatchewan. Lots of people are out there looking and helping. And I mean, there's even people that are just I drove this road to this road and she wasn't there. And it's at least helpful, one less road to drive down, right? One less place that she could be.
82-year-old Diane Cooper left her home in Calgary the afternoon of April 6th. She was later seen on security camera filling up with gas in Stettler, Alberta that day. Then later that night, she was seen in Saskatchewan in the hamlet of Hoosier, where her car was also seen in security video. Cooper was traveling with her Dalmatian. She is driving a gray Toyota CHR XLE. If you see Diane Cooper, you are advised to contact RCMP immediately. A challenge over Saskatchewan's decision to refurbish coal-fired power plants went before the province's highest court today. Applicants feeling the justice system has a role to play in addressing climate change. Donovan Mace has more on their arguments.
Environmental advocates are posing a question to Saskatchewan's Court of Appeal. Can greenhouse gas reduction minimums be set by the court, saying the government's current plans violate their charter rights? The appellants taking their litigation against the provincial government and Sask Power to the province's highest court after their case was dismissed by the Court of King's Bench in January. Counsel arguing to a panel of justices the lower court judge erred in law by failing to take into account international law and regulations to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Lawyer Caitlin Harvey saying the real question we are dealing with here today is whether or not Saskatchewan justices agree today is the day they'll stand with science, reason, judges from a growing number of countries from around the world, and Saskatchewan citizens.
How many days in the year do we need to stay indoors because of smoke levels? The
group challenges the government's policies go against provisions allotted in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
We're facing the destruction of our properties, the end of our enjoyment of our lives, our freedoms.
In response, government lawyers assert the King's Bench decision, saying the court should not overreach its powers over policy decisions. Senior Crown Counsel Elaine Thompson saying Saskatchewan has chosen to address climate change through policy, not an act of commitments. Thompson adding the political questions being debated are best left for the ballot box, not a courtroom, while the appellants say with Saskatchewan's two political parties bringing grid plans with an increased focus on fossil fuels, being left with little choice. The Court of Appeals panel has reserved their decision to a later date. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
It's considered a homegrown solution to Canada's affordability crisis. More Canadians are tapping into their green thumb in hopes of cutting costs on their grocery bills. Alison Bamford takes a look at the hobby sprouting in popularity here in Saskatoon and across the country, and if it can truly help save.
We are finding the supply is limited.
A growing trend for the last couple of years at this Saskatoon Garden Centre.
We have more potatoes coming later today.
But now more than ever, customers are eager to get their hands dirty.
With the rising food prices, we're seeing seeds fly off the shelf.
And it's not just a spike in seed sales for this time of year, but also an influx in new gardeners.
It's for a number of reasons. I think it's a little bit to do with food security, but it's also people taking control back into their own hands and wanting to be a part of something that they're growing.
Carrots, lettuce, and potatoes are usually the top sellers, but this year even certain types of beets have sold out.
It's just kind of widespread.
Canadian families can expect to spend nearly $1,000 more on groceries this year, according to Canada's food price report. Price tags on produce, dairy, and meat could shoot up even more than expected, with fuel surcharges adding to the cost of transporting food.
Even if my yields last me up until Christmas or January, February, I would see that as a win.
Kristen Rainey is a flower farmer by trade.
So we have a couple of different lettuces.
But this year she's planting more vegetables to feed her family.
In gardening, there's maybe not as much for cost savings, but it's more just having the food available.
Agri-food experts say that can be especially true for beginner gardeners. Upfront costs for tools and supplies might be more than they expect.
Gardening is a lot of work, and it's actually quite costly. If you're planning to start this year, you need to commit for several years in order to save money.
For those who've been gardening for years, they say the trick is to start small.
Start with things that you know you're going to use.
And grow from there. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still to come, how a one-time payment could help some Canadians put food on the table. Also, what new developments with the Strait of Hormuz mean for your gas bill. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. Ships are now moving through the Strait of Hormuz, the crucial energy corridor that has become the focal point of the Middle East war. Iran says the waterway is fully open to commercial vessels, but Donald Trump says the blockade on Iranian ships will remain in force. Financial markets took today's developments as a sign the shaky truce is holding. Adrian Gabriel now with more on the breakthrough and what it means for you.
This critical waterway has been a turbulent geopolitical flashpoint for more than a month. The Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of the world's oil is shipped, has reopened. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi writing on social media that in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through the Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of the ceasefire. U.S. President Donald Trump confirming the development as well, while posting on his Truth Social page that the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran, only until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete.
It should pave the way for, negotiations to end this war. Or it could also be used just to put pressure on the United States with their blockade against, commerce coming out of Iran.
Prime Minister Mark Carney took part in a call with world leaders today on restoring freedom of navigation through the strait. His office saying in part that the Prime Minister stressed the importance of international cooperation to protect navigation rights and promote stability for commercial shipping through a defensive framework grounded in international law. While oil fell more than 10% Friday, the average price at the pumps for Canadians remains elevated. Gas price experts are predicting an 8-cent drop by Tuesday, though that's after an 8-cent spike across parts of the country expected tomorrow.
That's because of the switch to summer gas from winter gas. Then you have the drop in excise tax on Monday, and so everything's wish-washing around.
This comes as Air Canada announced it's suspending flights from Toronto and Montreal to New York's JFK International Airport from June 1st until October 25th due to rising jet fuel prices that are cutting into their profits. In Europe, the International Energy Agency says that continent has roughly 6 weeks of jet fuel remaining, with potential flight cancellations on the horizon as well.
It's going to take another few weeks, I think, in my mind, before we start seeing the big vessels coming through. And then it's going to take another 6 weeks on the sea to move things like aviation fuel to those countries that are running out of fuel as we speak today.
Any hope of peace and stability in these waters hangs on the ebbs and flows of ongoing negotiations. Those safety concerns do still remain in the strait. President Trump today claiming that the U.S. is now working with Iran to remove mines from the vital waterway. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Millions of Canadians will get a little boost to their wallets this spring. The federal government is set to provide a one-time grocery benefit payment to eligible residents. But as Peter Sperling reports, some say the cash commitment won't go that far.
Like many Canadians, Mary Garbett is seeing the cost of groceries surge.
They're just crazy. Every time you go into the store, everything keeps going up. And if it doesn't go up in price, the size gets smaller.
And while she says she doesn't qualify, some Canadians are getting a bit of relief with a one-time grocery benefit.
I don't know, a one-time payment, it'll help that little tiny bit, but I don't know how we can move forward with the prices the way that they are.
The payment coming June 5th is part of the government's new Canada Groceries and Essentials benefit, which will replace the existing GST HST credit.
It doesn't apply to me, but hey, I know a lot of people that could use any kind of help.
Single Canadians without children will get a maximum of $267, while single people with children will receive $441 for one child and up to $717 with 4 children. The payment will be the same for married or common law Canadians with kids. Those without will get a maximum of $349. The one-time payment is in addition to the overall quarterly benefit.
This is a very good step. It helps provide families with direct support at a time when they are struggling to afford things like childcare, housing, and of course the high cost of food.
A high cost of food that has many Ottawa grocery shoppers sticking to strict budgets and shopping at multiple stores in an effort to save money.
A plan and a budget, yes. I make a meal plan before heading out and make a list and also look at what's on sale.
You really have to make yourself aware of sales a lot more.
I'm pretty frugal about my prices. I'll go to different stores, look for the deals, price match, things like that.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Tough words today from U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, directed at Canada's trade strategy as a CUSMA deadline looms. Speaking today at a World Economic Summit in Washington, he specifically called out Prime Minister Carney and his trip to China.
Good for them. That is like the worst strategy I've ever heard. They suck. Look, we are a $30 trillion economy, right? We are the consumer of the world. Okay? Carney has a problem with us. He gets on a plane and he goes to China. Does he think the Chinese economy is going to buy his stuff? China is entirely an export-driven economy, right? So what did he do? He came back and said, oh, we'll take their electric cars.
In January, Prime Minister Carney struck a deal that will allow 49,000 Chinese EVs a year into this country in exchange for the removal of Chinese tariffs on Canadian agricultural products. The move to allow Chinese cars into Canada has angered Donald Trump. A loud explosion heard across parts of Toronto last night was part of a controlled film shoot for Canadian rapper Drake. Drake posted photos on his Instagram page showing what appeared to be an explosion at a park in Toronto with a ball of fire shooting into the sky. A spokesperson for the City of Toronto later confirmed that a production associated with the rapper had taken place. They added that a special effects explosive permit was granted for the shoot.
Come out Saturday to come meet the Jekyll Giants as you see them running around. K&S Clydesdales would like to present Clydesdale Day. Me and my wife Kristen are happy to support this. All the money goes to the Saskatchewan Clydesdale Association hot dog sale. Check their website. Going to be lots going on. Come on down and check it out. Jeff, what's the weather going to be like?
It's going to be not bad, Shane. And by the way, I seem to recall from something on your morning, I think Mike Siona was visiting, and those two little horses are only days old, and they're not little at all. So, yes, Clydesdales are very impressive, and you can get up close and personal with them, as Shane was mentioning, tomorrow. And it looks like tomorrow's going to be an okay day. Temperatures are still below seasonal, but they're on the plus side. Mainly cloudy conditions. Tomorrow, that's taking place the open house in K&S Clydesdales between near Grandora between 11 and 6. And once again, the money is supporting the Clydesdale Association in Saskatchewan. Let's take a look at our numbers. -1 degree degree right now in Saskatoon. It's 2 in Prince Albert, 1 in the Battlefords. But more importantly, lots of sunshine out there. A little on the windy side in Saskatoon and the Battlefords compared to Prince Albert. Saskatoon's almanac today, well, yeah, -1 was our daytime high, so 12 degrees below seasonal. Double that up, and you get yourself 24, and that was our hot temperature record of 1913. -17 from 1907. That's the cold temperature record for the 17th of April. The sun came up at 6:06, and it went down at 8:08.
Coming up on the hunt for a sausage thief, how one Alberta community is trying to make the link.
Monday, we're focusing in on artificial intelligence in Saskatchewan. The Sask AI Expo is coming to Saskatoon. We're finding out what role AI has in the province and what's next.
Okay, a quick look through the live lens of Skycam and a big blue sky. Lots of sunshine today. And as we were mentioning earlier in the broadcast, even though our temperatures were way below seasonal, it felt pretty good because, yeah, it was sunny. Right on. Let a smile be your umbrella. All right, let's take a look at our satellite and radar shot here. Not a lot of active weather. That system has moved off into the Great Lakes region and parts of northern Ontario. It's going to continue to do so. We might have to keep our eye on some of the Pacific moisture coming through British Columbia. But right now, not a lot of action for Saskatchewan, much of the Prairie provinces, quite frankly. Just to recap, -1 in Saskatoon, -2 on the plus side in Prince Albert, and 1 degree in the Battlefords. On to our hot and cold spot for the day. Buffalo Narrows, the hot spot at 5 degrees, not exactly hot, but I'm sure they weren't complaining. Key Lake, the cold spot at -25, second day in a row for Key Lake being the cold spot. -4 degrees right now in Swift Current and Moose Jaw and Estevan, -5 in Regina, -7 in Yorkton, 0 in Lloydminster. Into central parts of the province, temperatures ranging from 3 degrees in Meadow Lake and Waskesiu down to -6. That's in Kindersley. It's -3 in Rosetown and Watrous. A little cooler by a couple of points in Wynyard and Hudson Bay. Now up north, temperatures are actually not bad. 2 degrees in Collins Bay and Buffalo Narrows. A number of communities at 0 degrees and pretty close to that in Stony Rapids and South End, both at -1. It's 1 on the plus side in East End, 3 in Maple Creek, but -3 in Coronach, -4 in Carlisle, -7 in Broadview and Melville, and -2 in Leader, -3 in Outlook and Last Mountain Provincial Park, or Regional Park, I should say. There's our future cast, so you can certainly see a real messy mix of conditions impacting parts of Ontario and eastern Manitoba, and you've got snow and then rain snow mix. And even in the prairies, there's a little bit of some scattered showers or flurries possible as you make our way into the next 24 hours, but it really is scattered in nature and not a windy day at all for Saturday. 2 degrees in La Ronge, -3 in both Stony Rapids and Key Lake, and 1 degree in Buffalo Narrows. Cloudy or mainly cloudy conditions up north. A chance of some flurries in Meadow Lake, 4 degrees, and 3 in Spiritwood, 6 in Kindersley and Rosetown on Saturday. 13 for Maple Creek, Leader in at 11 tomorrow, 4 in Outlook, 7 in Swift Current. In the southeastern part of the province, a little cooler. So in and around Yorkton, we're looking at 1 degree, 2 in Regina, 4 in Moose Jaw, and 6 with windy conditions in Estevan. 0 degrees in Melfort and Watrous, 1 degree cooler than that in Humboldt with cloudy skies, and 2 on the plus side at Hudson Bay, but there is a chance of some flurries. Our numbers for the Battlefords, rather, -10 degrees overnight, a 30% chance of flurries. The wind's backing off. Relatively light winds tomorrow with cloudy skies and a high of 6 for the Battlefords, and 10 on Sunday, warming up to 20 by Tuesday, and lots of sunshine, but then a downward trend, and by this time next week, we're around 3 degrees. Brr. Alrighty, for Prince Albert, slight chance of flurries tonight, -7 degrees, mainly cloudy skies on Saturday with a high of 3. 3 as well on Sunday, 9 on Monday, 12 on Tuesday with mainly sunny skies, and then that downward trend again. 7 degrees with a chance of showers on Wednesday, a chance of flurries on Thursday, 1 the expected high, and 1 on Friday, but it's mainly cloudy. And finally, Saskatoon's temperature dropping down to -7 degrees, winds out of the west 20, but backing off tonight. Light winds tomorrow, or light to moderate winds, mainly cloudy skies, a high of 3. Slowly making its way back to seasonal temperatures. Monday, 13 degrees, 19 on Tuesday, 13 on Wednesday, and then 10-degree drop there in terms of daytime highs from Wednesday to Thursday. A high of 3 with almost a certainty of some rain or snow depending on the timing, and 2 degrees on Friday with mainly cloudy skies.
You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em.
The man who wrote Kenny Rogers' hit The Gambler has died. Don Schlitz also wrote On the Other Hand and Forever and Ever Amen and others. The two-time Grammy Award winner was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and the Country Music Hall of Fame. He was 73 years old.
We did it. And the title is Spaceballs, the new one. It's just like the old one, but it's newer.
Nearly 2 years after reports a Spaceballs sequel was on the way for the 1987 original, Mel Brooks shared the title himself. Yeah, that's him, ahead of his 100th birthday this year. Canadian comedy great Rick Moranis is expected to reprise his role of Dark Helmet with Spaceballs, the new one, hitting theaters next April.
Good morning, aviators. This is your captain speaking.
If you feel the need for speed, Paramount Pictures has good news for you. Top Gun 3 has been confirmed, with Tom Cruise returning as daring pilot Pete Maverick Mitchell. Paramount film co-head Josh Greenstein said Top Gun 3 is officially in development with the script well underway, adding that Cruise will reunite with producer Jerry Bruckheimer on the project. The original 1986 film helped propel Cruise to stardom, and the 2022 sequel earned $1.5 billion worldwide. Gosh, I wonder what beach activity will help bond the fighter pilots. Sandcastles, I hope. Come on, guys, let's make some sandcastles.
We'll have to wait and see. For now, I hear you were out at Innovation Place earlier today.
And you know what sand turns into sometimes? Glass. There's plenty of light here at the Galleria at Innovation Place, and what a great place for Glass Art 26 to take place. It's put on by the Saskatoon Glass Workers Guild, and Betty Gibbon, the past president of the Guild, is with us today. So thank you for letting us pop by.
Thank you for coming by.
So how many people are in the Guild?
Just a little over 60 right now.
And will everyone have something on display here?
Not everybody, just those that want to participate.
Okay, so now for people like me who aren't really familiar with all the different styles of glass art that's on display, can you give us an idea of what different ones there are?
There's a wide variety, everything from stained glass to fused glass, lots of blown glass, just painting on glass. You name it with glass, we can do it.
All right, that's pretty impressive. Now, if someone comes here and not only sees some art and buys something, but if they're inspired to become a glass artist, do you offer workshops, things like that?
We do have workshops. They're all listed on our website, and we offer probably about 4 or 5 a year. We have monthly meetings where everybody gets together, so it's quite a warm environment and community. And then we trade information. Being a guild, we have brand new people to glass, and people have been doing it for decades, and we're kind of all in it together. We learn from each other and have a really good time doing it.
And just before we go, I know there's a silent auction going on here as well. What are the hours for the show?
The show is tonight till 8, tomorrow 10 till 8, and Sunday 10 till 5. The silent auction closes at 3 on Sunday.
All right, and you can get even more information on the website. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much for coming by.
All right, Jeff, it's the Friday edition of Pick of the Day.
And guess what? There's a lot of snow in these pictures. There's a shock. All right, let's start off with this one. This comes to us from Bev in Kindersley. Bev writes, springtime in Saskatchewan. We need the moisture, but rain would be more acceptable. Yes, I've heard that from farmers before. So thank you, Bev, for that image. That's a lovely sort of silhouette there. This one from Yvonne. Yvonne tells us this represents Mother Nature's grip on winter. Yeah, there's a stark-looking icicle. And finally from Sanai. Sanai says, hope you like the juxtaposition of my flag and the recent snowfall. And yes, we do. That says a whole lot about where we are right now in Saskatchewan. So thank you to all the people who sent in images, and those were the 3 we picked. So if you'd like to try and get one on the air, please send it to CFQC News at CFQC News at ctv.ca, and please put Pick of the Day in the subject line.
Still to come on CTV News, a frank message for some thieves, what they stole from a popular sausage store in rural Alberta. A small-town sausage store is offering up a savory reward to help catch the people who recently broke in. CTV's Evan Kenny has more from Alberta's sausage capital.
In a town known for sausage, two thieves tried to take down the Kubatsaw King.
Baba Jane doesn't like change.
The two crashed through the front doors of Baba Jane's Stinichi's Mundare Sausage Wednesday night.
That initial drive out, there was a bit of panic because we weren't able to go into the facility yet until the police had kind of done their procedure about ensuring that no one was still inside.
The sausages are safe, but the cash register was taken.
They got about $90 worth of quarters.
I was born and raised here.
Okay.
So I know the Stonichis from way back. We're very sad.
And they are very generous to the community.
Now Stinichi's is asking for the community's help, hoping someone can help link the thieves to the crime.
If there's any information that results in the perpetrators, the weenies as I call them, being arrested, then that individual is entitled to 100 rings of locally made Ukrainian Mundare sausage.
It's a case loyal customers in Alberta's sausage capital are ready to take a bite of. Have you guys heard of the reward that's been put out?
Oh, yes, we did.
What are your guys' thoughts on that as a reward? Pretty good one, eh?
Oh, that's a good one. That's cute. That's really funny.
That'd be worth finding them. Nobody makes it like they do. Nobody. And if they say they do, they're lying.
Stinichi's wants the thieves found so they don't return to the store or any other businesses in the area. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Mundare.
When we come back, increasing opposition to an AI data center in southern Saskatchewan, and later a spring surprise in the province.
All right, welcome back. It's time for the rural forecast for Saturday. And right now, Saturday's looking okay. Temperatures are still below seasonal, but on the plus side, and not too many places are expecting any precipitation. Meadow Lake, one of the outliers at 4 degrees and a possibility of flurries, but temperatures are around 5 or 6 for many locations, but it cools off as we make our way towards the east side. 0 degrees in Melfort and Watrous, 2 in Hudson Bay, -1 for Wynyard. Ouch, a little on the cool side there, Wynyard. Down south, does it warm up? Yeah, it does, especially in the southwest. Leader 11 degrees, the same in East End, Cypress Hills area, 13 in Maple Creek, towards south central areas. Coronach getting up to 8, 2 in Broadview, 1 in Kenora. So what about Yellowgrass for tomorrow? Well, Yellowgrass is going to hit 4 degrees tomorrow, but it's going to be another windy day. Sustained winds at 30 kilometers an hour, so a bit breezy in Yellowgrass, and Yellowgrass is one of those communities where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Saskatchewan's NDP is calling for transparency over a planned AI data center in the RM of Sherwood, just outside of Regina.
This is a new type of economic development for the province. Might be a great opportunity. Like, we're not fundamentally opposed to data centers, but with any type of major development in a province like Saskatchewan, there has to be public consultation, information, and the rules have to be followed.
The opposition has launched a website and is planning an open house on the project next week, saying local residents have unanswered questions. It comes as a protest against the project is planned at the Legislative Building over the weekend, and another at an RM of Sherwood meeting on Monday, where the project is up for further discussion.
If there's questions, I think there's, pretty straightforward answers to those questions as well, whether it be water usage, whether it be, potential noise. But there's also, I think, other information that we need to take into account is the number of jobs that are going, careers really, that are going to be, associated with this investment.
The AI data center is anticipated to generate up to $12 billion for Saskatchewan's economy and create a minimum of 80 full-time jobs. The project's proponent is Bell Canada, the parent company of CTV News. 26 recommendations have been given to the federal government to improve some of Saskatchewan's biggest industries. A report released in December suggests focusing on the regulatory reform of the agriculture and agri-food sector through pest control, plastics, and drones, just to name a few. According to one advocate, the report needs to be taken seriously if improvements are to happen.
Tackling regulatory burden
it can be seen as a negative thing when in fact there's huge upside to innovation, to attracting the latest and best products, to things to make sure that Canada can really reach its potential as an agricultural superpower, which it should be at where we are.
The report concluded that a number of regulatory burdens have remained in place for years and the sector's full economic potential remains unmet. Some of the best senior athletes will be Saskatchewan-bound in a couple of years. Regina has been selected to host the 2028 Canada Senior Games. The city was the first host of the National 55-plus Games in 1996. The Games will be played August 21st to 28th, 2028. The Games, which take place every 2 years, had been set for this summer in Winnipeg, but were postponed due to funding challenges. Ford is recalling approximately 144,000 Ford F-150 trucks in Canada. The recall affects 2015 to 17 model year vehicles equipped with 6-speed automatic transmissions. There is a gear shift issue that the company says may lead to an unexpected downshift into a lower gear while the vehicle is in motion. Investors embrace the news out of the Middle East today. Morella Fernandez has more.
Markets shot up today on news the Strait of Hormuz is fully reopening. The move up for stocks came with a move down for oil. West Texas had a double-digit drop. The biggest losers on the TSX were energy stocks. They were down about 3%. The biggest gains were made in consumer discretionary stocks. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 73.05. West Texas Intermediate down over $8 to 82.59. Western Canadian Select is up over $2 to 72.70. And the TSX shot up 294 points today, but still is shy of a record. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon currently just under $1.72 a litre. The lowest price in town, $1.55.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco finished the day at $1.65.24. Nutrient dropped $5.40. Coming up, welcoming a new addition to the Nashville Zoo. Then the special birthday bundle being celebrated on a Saskatchewan farm. We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV starting at 7 with Celebrity Jeopardy. Well, the newest addition at the Nashville Zoo is making her debut. This clouded leopard cub was recently born at the zoo. She's about the size of a pineapple right now. Her birth marks the 50th clouded leopard born at the zoo since 1991. The zoo says the animal's population is in steep decline, so they decided to hand rear the cub to ensure her survival. It's like a little squeak toy. So cute.
Very cute. Very cute.
Speaking of cute. It's an exciting time for this farm south of Carlisle. Carrie Rutten sent this picture to us saying her daughter has 15 ewes that gave birth this spring. She now has almost 40. And this week, one gave birth to quadruplets. It's the first time it's happened for them. The odds of that are roughly 1 in 500 births, or about 0.2%. So not that common at all.
Not common at all, no. Quite rare, and that's a lot of work at this time of year.
Yes, they've got their hands full, that's for sure.
A lot of bottle feeding going on there, I suspect, too.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
All right, well, let's take a look and see what tomorrow brings us in terms of the weather. We've got ourselves -3 degrees at 9 a.m., -1 at noon, mid-afternoon 3 degrees, and by 5 o'clock we're expecting the temperature to drop down to 2. But the wind, not such a big deal. Winds out of the west 15 pretty much all day long, so it's a somewhat pleasant day. We wish there's a bit more sunshine. Well, compared to yesterday, it's all good news. And today we had the sunshine and made all the difference in the world.
Yeah. And then it'll warm up, and then you're working on that.
I know. It's voodoo. You know what? It's El Nino. Yeah.
It's something. That's for sure.
El Nino.
Big show tonight?
Big show tonight, yes. The Saskatoon Soaps are doing a show called The Spit. It's a take on the pit and other medical dramas, and there won't be much drama. There'll be a lot of laughter. So that's happening in about an hour, so I get my butt down to the theater.
All right. Well, have a safe and happy weekend. Thanks for watching.